So yeah, that's Sandy Brondello's career basically done. That's her career over. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good one. Let's be real. She shout out for winning the championship. She lost a lot of big games. And the response from Angel Reese, was basically a yes, Sandy is a racist. I'm glad the referee punished her for being racist. Like, that's her response. Angel addressed Sandy Brondello's situation pre-game. First, I appreciate Sandy's apology, but I also appreciate the love and support I've had for the last 48 hours. It's been very overwhelming with a lot of love and other things, but I'm grateful the league did take action. There's no place for discrimination, hate in this league from anyone, from fans to coaches to players. I'm going to be real here. That's Sandy's career done. That line right there. It's over. It's over. Like, it is, it's one of those things now where Angel Reese has basically come out and said, yes, Sandy was racist. Sandy was said her something racist. She's done. Like, you don't, not in this league. Not in this league. This goes one of two ways. Like, and this is far from over, by the way. Far from over. Like, you are going to see more tempo players. You're either going to see more tempo players speaking out about Sandy. You're seeing the hate Temmie's getting now. The amount of hate Temmie's getting from speaking out. Like, this is going to spread into something that it's not very quickly. Because this has now gone in. This is now the Angel Reese quote. The Angel Reese had the ability to not throw gasoline on flames. And, well, we say Angel Reese had the ability, but she doesn't. Angel Reese has no ability to not throw gasoline on flames. Like, let's be very clear. Anytime, like, there's no scenario where Angel Reese speaks on anything where she's not throwing petrol on those flames. And throughout all of this, like, Sandy's trying to reach out to Angel, spent the whole of yesterday trying to reach out to Angel, reach out to everybody around Angel as part of the Atlanta Dream Team. And Angel just ignored her. Angel ignored her. Why? Because, let's be very real. Let's be very clear. There is no way that you can, if you're Angel Reese, have an actual conversation with Sandy Brondello and come out of that conversation with the conclusion that Sandy Brondello said something racist to you. You actually couldn't. Why? Because there are cultural differences. There are cultural slang phrases. There are issues with that. And yes, heat in the moment, whatever. Angel saw what she saw on Twitter and what Twitter accused Sandy Brondello of saying. It was not what Sandy Brondello said. But if we're being real, that shit happens. But 48 hours later, you have a situation now where you've got a coach who, it's very clear what was said, it's very clear the context and all of that, and a phone call for an apology and an explanation from Sandy. It's very difficult. It would be very difficult for Angel Reese to look like a reasonable human being coming out of that phone call and still basically saying there's no room for discrimination. Like, there is no way that Angel Reese could have had a phone call with Sandy Brondello and still said that if she did. And that is Sandy branded as a racist for the rest of her career. Because the quote-unquote Reese's Pieces are a loud bunch of people on Twitter. And let's be very, very clear. It is at the stage now where in the court of public opinion with those people, if you say Angel Reese is bad at layups, you're a racist. So if Angel Reese is heavily implying you're a racist, oh, that's you done for your career. And it's going to work. One of two things going to happen. Either it's completely done. Either it's completely over and no team will hire her again. Like she might last with the Toronto Tempo, but Sandy Brondello is as good as unhireable. Like, I'm sorry, she is. You cannot simply hire a coach who has been accused in this league, who is accused of being a racist. You just can't. You can't. It's over. It's over. Like, at least the one positive thing is that she'll at least be able to see out her tenure with the Tempo. I don't foresee the Tempo firing her now. But and the worst part is, like, I'm glad to see the league take action. Like, I'm being honest. Like, glad to see the league take action based on a cultural phrase. Like, there are phrases that are used everywhere. There are phrases, there are languages, there are certain words used everywhere in the world that are offensive to people in other places. There are words in other languages that, if you translate them into the English language, are offensive. There are words in other languages that, when translated, when someone is speaking them, sound like offensive words in the English language. There are words that sound like other words. That there are going to be, when humans communicate, especially humans from different areas of the world where there are different slang or different colloquial language in those places where certain words have different meanings. And again, when people are sometimes speaking about English when it's their second language or saying something in a certain way, there's going to be miscommunication situations where somebody is offended by something someone else says despite no absolutely zero malice. And the fact is that, is it okay to be offended in the first place? Yeah, sure. But to actively go out of your way, ignore Sandy Brondello's attempts to apologize, and still imply what she said is racist 48 hours later, that is you basically saying, like, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. You're like, the only logic for Angel Reese not wanting to hear anything from Sandy, there's two logics. There's two ways of logic about it. Either she didn't want to have the conversation, because if she has the conversation, then it means that there is absolutely no way she can come out of that conversation believing Sandy Brondello actually said something racist to her, which I think is the case. And again, I don't know it. Or you come out of that you don't want to have the conversation because you actually believe Sandy is racist. Based on this, maybe it is that. And if she believes that, she's well on her way to believing that. But that's Sandy's career done. She might last her tenure in Toronto. However long her contract is, that's it over. That's it over. You do not live that down. You do not live that one down. I'm sorry. Like, Kurt Miller, you can get away with it, especially back in the day. Kurt Miller would not have got away with what he said right now. If Kurt Miller said what he said right now, he'd be done. He'd be done as well. Sandy's done. It's a when, not if. And I could genuinely see the Tempo players coming out in droves supporting Sandy Brondello. Basically saying Sandy did nothing wrong, we know Sandy. And what does that do? It turns into this weird situation where players are going against Angel Reese, who claimed she was racially abused. And then that's this weird scenario now where it's like you've got players of all different races and country going against each other. And now it's no longer let's support this player. We can't support this player. Oh shit, can we not support our coach who's been accused of this? It's a headache. It is a headache. And also, let's be very clear. Sandy Brondello is not a big enough name nor a good enough coach that she's worth that headache. You got to be bringing in a lot of money or be the damn best at what you do to be worth that type of a headache. Sandy Brondello is not. She's a damn good. She's a decent coach at the WNBA level. I don't think she'll be a coach in the next 2 years. And this is something where if you're the Toronto Tempo, you are like, oh shit, it's really, really difficult to defend Sandy. It is really it's really difficult to defend Sandy because if we go out of our way here to defend Sandy, we're basically saying we don't support Angel, who claimed there was a racist remark, and they're caught between a rock and a hard place. And the easiest way to do that is, again, because it's someone directly, is to fire Sandy, or to just let her play out her contract. Because I'm sorry, once that label's put on you, it's over. It's over. Because there is video footage of what Sandy said, which, again, we all saw what Sandy said. And let's be very real, like, the Indiana Fever based on nothing, Caitlin Clark based on nothing is branded as problematic, based on nothing she has done. Sandy Brondello, despite doing nothing wrong, has now officially been branded as a racist by a player. So make it out what you will. She won't last long in the league. And if she does last long in the league, then the league's zero tolerance for racism doesn't exist. But anyway, see you guys.